What if your body was a gift and contribution to your life and not something that you've been stuck with? What if your body could change quickly and easily? Right Body for You will inspire you and show you a different way of creating the body and the life you truly desire. Now here's your host, Donnielle.
And welcome to Right Body for You, a different kind of radio show with your host, Donnielle. A different kind of host, a different kind of person, and a little different. I hear that all the time, and now I use it as a calling card. And people say you're a little different. I'm like, yes, thank you. And so are you. Are you willing to be the difference that you are in the world? Not from that, different, scary thing. Although I have been told I'm scary, which actually is just kind of a interesting compliment. But just, are you willing to be you is what I'm asking, no matter what that looks like. After this show, I'm up and I'm going to go visit with an old friend of mine from high school, which in the United States, high school is basically 14 to 18 ages, around there. And one thing, it was three of us in high school. It was me, her, and the other girl. And we were always, getting in trouble and doing whatnot. But one thing I always liked about us was that we were always different from each other. Have you guys ever been with those cliques of girls or boys or whatever, and they all look alike, dress alike, their hair is alike, and, they become mirror images of each other? Well, me and my two girlfriends from high school couldn't have been more different, and still to this day, we are different. So it was interesting how, in high school, I was willing to be different, and then somewhere along the way, I was like, oh no, different is bad, I must change that. And now I'm back to I'm a bit different, and so are you, and what if we can actually celebrate those differences every single day? And I get to when I facilitate the Right Body for You workshops all over the world, which I'm so excited. The class that's coming up this weekend is in Brisbane, Australia. I love it. I believe my second time doing a class in Brisbane, and it's so much fun. You guys have never been to Australia, and eventually, New Zealand, which is the other country next door. I highly recommend it. And if you're like one of those silly Americans like I was, that I thought New Zealand and Australia were the same country, they aren't. And they're very vocal that they're not the same country. But each one is beautiful. Please, please, please check them out. And, this class is live streamed. So, if you feel like watching from afar and participating, because you can do live questions, please check that out. Where? You can go to DonnielleCarter.accessconsciousness.com and sign up. Okay, cool. So today we're talking about what choice can you make today that will make tomorrow easier, okay? We're always worrying about tomorrow. What will tomorrow look like? Creating for tomorrow. The question is, why are we always waiting for tomorrow? What about today? Yes, today creates tomorrow, but what can be created today and tomorrow? And it's interesting. One of my favorite things to play with, to manipulate, to, oddly enough, also be the effective. Yes, can you love to manipulate something and be effective at the same time? Yes. And, because I am just that talented. And for me, that would be time. I love playing with time. And time is not real. Time is literally a man-made construct, so we know where to be, when to be, if we're late, who's late, when class starts, and all that kind of stuff. You guys have heard me rant about this before. If you ever want to know time isn't real, work in TV or radio. 10 seconds of dead air is a lifetime. And it just doesn't feel that way. I mean, you can actually accomplish, 5 minutes worth of work in 10 seconds in that dead air of everything that you're doing and needing to do. So trust me, you've all experienced this. You've gotten somewhere faster. You've gotten somewhere slower. You had, what's that old adage, a watch pot never boils? well, we've all known for a long time that time isn't real, but somewhere we've made it the master of us, okay? And so in this playing with time, for me, I like to play with today, tomorrow, and actually yesterday. For me, it's really interesting to be able to change things that have already, quote unquote, occurred. Because think about it. We're willing to look at today. We're willing to look at tomorrow. But how many of us are willing to look at yesterday and that what we did yesterday could actually change? I tell you what, the more I've done these Access Consciousness and Right Body for You tools, the more I've actually seen the past change as well. Sometimes it's a very dynamic, I can't deny it thing. Like one time when I was living in Houston, I went over to a friend's house. We were going to exchange bars, the Access Consciousness bars. And so I headed over there. I parked where I always park. She was a friend, so I was at her house a lot. And so I parked where I always parked, and I got out of the car, walked around the front of the car, and I walked across. Okay, I was on this street. I'm giving details for purpose. I was on this street. The car was parked on the street next to the curb. So I got up, walked over the grass, over the sidewalk, through her front yard to her front door. And then, we did our bars and we talked and worked and blah, 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 blah. And then I came back out. And when I came back out, I looked at it. I looked at her front, past the sidewalk, and I went, when did they put a schoolyard sign in front of your house? And she goes, it's been there for about a year. What are you talking about? I'm like, it wasn't there when I got here, because the route I took from my car going around the front, across that little patch of grass, across the sidewalk, I would have walked into it in that little patch of grass. So somewhere we had changed the past so that it was now a reality where that sign was there, where it was like school in session. And I mean, another thing, I would have parked there, and I'd been parking there daily for months at that point. So it was funny. So it's like, are you willing to also look at tomorrow or yesterday? Not only tomorrow, but yesterday. Because trust me. And it also makes me wonder, it's like, okay, those are the ones I've noticed. What ones have I not noticed? And it's kind of fun when you start looking at that. Okay. So what choice you made to that will make tomorrow easier? You might say that would make yesterday easier as well. Okay. How do we do this? We're always putting our awareness on tomorrow. Okay. We're always putting our awareness on tomorrow. We're never really looking at today. Okay. It's never present with today. How can tomorrow ever come? Because when we do that, we are losing what is actually possible for tomorrow, the next day, and even yesterday. We are going to take our first quick little break. And when we come back, we're going to really delve into this subject of how today, what we do affects not only tomorrow, but today and yesterday as well. All right, this is Donnielle. This is Right Body for You. We are on A2Zen.fm, and we'll be right back.
What if your body could be an ease and not a burden? What would life be like if you could enjoy your body? What if changing your body was easier than we've been taught? And what if it's not about the latest fad? Join Donnielle each week on Right Body for You as she explores what bodies are and the ease of change that's possible. Each week you will receive inspirational stories of those who've used the Right Body for You energetic tools to change their body and the tools that they used, tools that you can begin to use immediately. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on A2Zen.fm.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions? Or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that when run assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8763 or UK 4433-0001-0625. You can Skype us at a2zen.fm. Or if you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle at accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. I'm your body tour guide, your giggle leader. And today, to ask you the question, let's ponder choices and time. We are always putting our awareness on tomorrow. We do that. We've been taught that. It's like, well, tomorrow, work for tomorrow, work hard now, put away for retirement, work for the future. You have to go to school to prepare for your job for the rest of your life so that you can retire eventually. You have to learn how to do cooking so that you can be a good wife. You have to learn how to go do the grill so you can do the husband cooking, and all of that kind of stuff, right? We're always looking at that. We're always preparing for the future. What about today? And this is an interesting, multifaceted topic, because when I was looking at it, because, I do like to write notes, a couple lines or two, whether they get used or not is a different story. I am energy's bitch, and I go where it leads me. And what's interesting about that is every time I was going somewhere with this, it took me to another direction. Every time I looked at the energy of this, and it's like, and how much do we actually do that daily in our lives? Because I'm like, okay, well, what choice can you make today that will make tomorrow easier? And I'm like, well, that's a fairly straightforward topic. I'm not always very bright, right? I'm like, that's an easy topic. We can do that. What choice can you make today that will make tomorrow easier? And then as I was exploring this, the energy of yesterday keeps coming up. The energy of you needing to be present with today as well as creating tomorrow. And so it's really interesting. So go in the flow with me and let's see what we can actually create and what awarenesses we can reveal as we're exploring this topic of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, okay? And one of the things that I like to look at with this preparing for the future thing, and then we're not present in today. Because we've talked about that today. We've talked about that before. It's like if you're always in tomorrow, you're not present with today. But let's take that a little bit further. So if you're always looking for tomorrow, this really magical, amazing thing happens. Tomorrow actually becomes today that's waiting for tomorrow. Okay? So your tomorrow never actually gets here, because the second today turns into tomorrow, you have another tomorrow that you're always preparing for. And so when you're always preparing for tomorrow, you can never actually get to tomorrow. You're losing your life, basically. You're basically going, well, it's always tomorrow. I'm always waiting for tomorrow. Tomorrow I can never get there. And so I'm not doing anything today. I'm like, well, no, I'm doing everything today for tomorrow, but I don't know what. I'm just going to go take a nap. Right? Have you ever done that? Have you ever gotten so confounded, so confused, so frustrated that you're like, screw it all, I'm out of here? You know, we've all had that moment. And how much are we actually doing that with this whole today, tomorrow, yesterday thing? How many of us are actually going, well, I'm always preparing for tomorrow, but it's never getting here. And here's the other thing, the other side of that is that put off till tomorrow, okay? That put off till tomorrow of like, well, I'll start that tomorrow. I'll just do it tomorrow. I won't worry about it today. Today's today, I'll do it tomorrow. And then when tomorrow gets here, it's like, oh, well, you know what? It's today again. It's not tomorrow. And I said I would start it tomorrow, so I'll start it tomorrow because today is today. It's not tomorrow. And then the next day, it becomes today, and then tomorrow is again in the future. You see how we play this with ourselves? Yes, I'm making light of it. I'm kind of joking. I'm taking it to an extreme to help you guys see what we actually do. Somewhere in the recesses of our head, our minds, those lovely things that are always telling us how to judge and how to be, our minds, we're always thinking, well, tomorrow is in the future, so it doesn't count. It's something we're preparing for. Well, and it's interesting the duplicity of it, because it's like, it's tomorrow, so it doesn't count to today, but the only thing that is counting for today is preparing for tomorrow. What? You know, it's like, cue the record scratch. Wait a minute, what? What did you just say? Well, you know, it's tomorrow, so it doesn't count for today, but today is today, and today we need to prepare for tomorrow. Yes. Welcome to my head and the way I see things often. And if you've never joined us in the chat room, they're making those like big eye faces at me like, what the freak are you doing? And you guys are not alone, trust me. It's all of us. And you know, and I've played with this, I've looked at this quite a lot. Okay, so how much are we losing of today preparing or discounting tomorrow? Okay. And with the tool of the show, what choice can you make today that will make tomorrow easier? It starts to look at the place where we're discounting tomorrow. You know, this came up a lot for me with diet things. Oh, I'll start that tomorrow. Today, I'll eat whatever, not asking my body, but I'll eat whatever it is. I won't move my body. I won't exercise. I'll start tomorrow. And so party hard today, because tomorrow is when it all is going to be horrible. Tomorrow is when I have to be serious. Tomorrow is when the deficit starts, you know, because in that realm of changing our body, so many of us try to change our body from the deficit, from the place of lack, instead of the place of excitement and possibility, okay? So when we do this, what choice can we make today that will make tomorrow easier in that realm of like, dieting, right? What if instead of going, oh, well, I'll make that choice tomorrow or I'll start tomorrow, what if you can actually say, well, hey, you know what, I'll start today? And I know, I can hear people out there going, yeah, tried that, have a good time. That doesn't work for me, okay? I get that. I get it's a weird sort of cluster that we have put ourselves into, a weird sort of place of always waiting to start. So my question for you is, not just in diet, but in your life, what are you waiting till tomorrow to start that if you started today would not just make tomorrow easier, but yesterday and today easier as well? Anything doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, from Paco, Nice, Shorts, Boys, and Beyonds, which is an example of the Access Consciousness verbal processing. You know, Right Body for You is a division of Access Consciousness. Access Consciousness is a set of tools and techniques to help you change any area of your life that, yeah, it may not be working for you, but you know what? It could be working for you and you just want more. You desire more in your life. That's one of the things I love to talk about is you don't have to have something wrong to desire more. You can actually just desire and want more in your life. And the Access Consciousness tools are a great way for that. They work on the energetic level. And, Right Body for You is basically Access Consciousness talking about the body. Because Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, noticed years ago, because probably around 20 years ago, because Access has been around for about 27 years. And he started noticing that there was a correlation between your body and your life. People came to classes to change their life, their body got better. And then when people came to change their body, their lives got better. And so from that, he's like, oh, let's create this thing, Right Body for You, and invite people to the possibility and the contribution that their body can be. So if you want to learn more about the verbal clearings, the verbal processing, and the Access Consciousness clearing statement, you can go to theclearingstatement.com and you can learn all about it, okay? But all you need to know for today's show is when I ask you, are you willing to destroy and uncreate that? And you say yes or no, or I don't know what language she's speaking. I thought she spoke English, but is obviously Greek or Italian, or it's obviously something that's not Latin-based because I have no idea what she's talking about. Anything that's going on, if you have any ounce, any degree of willingness in your universe, something changes. And then it's the clearing statement, which, like I said, you can go to theclearingstatement.com and check it all out. Okay, so we're going to do that again. If I can remember it, what are you putting off starting tomorrow that if you're willing to start it today would give you the ease of yesterday, today, and tomorrow that you're asking for? Anything doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, Paco, Nice, Shorts, Boys, and Beyond. And with this whole adage of I'll start tomorrow, I'll start it tomorrow, whether it be a project, weight loss, anything to do with the body or your life, if you're putting off starting it tomorrow, I actually have a question for you. Do you want to do it? Is it actually something you desire to do? Or are you using I'll start it tomorrow as a way of not starting it ever? And then, of course, we start to judge ourselves because, I'm so weak, I didn't start it. or that program, that project, that whatever. It's like, if you're not willing to start it right now, if you don't have the excitement about it tomorrow, the enthusiasm, the creation, will you have it tomorrow? What is magical about tomorrow that if you're not enthusiastic today, you'll be enthusiastic tomorrow? Okay? So I'm going to ask you again. Everything you're not starting today that you're waiting for tomorrow to start, truth. Do you actually desire, want to do it? Right. Isn't that interesting? And here's the thing. It doesn't mean you throw the whole thing out. You know, if you're starting a project and you're like, oh, crap, no, I don't actually want to do that, it could be that you need to do it a different way. You know, like with bodies, like tomorrow I'm going to start a diet, which, you know, when you say diet, the body hears the word die. Or if you're starting an exercise program, which the body hears exorcise, like, begone foul creature, you know, from the movie, no pea soup. But, you know, so, right body for you, let's look at this. So even if you're like, well, I'm going to eat healthier tomorrow, which, yes, POD/POC points of view about what's healthy, what's not healthy, or I'm going to start listening to my body tomorrow. I've had people do that. I'll start listening to my body tomorrow. That'll be good. You know, I'll start fresh, and we'll go from there. So it's like, okay, so when we're starting this, when we're starting these things tomorrow, and you get that you don't want to do it. You know, I asked you the question, truth is, do you actually desire to do that? The chat room says, the ever so eloquent voice in my head says, WTF, you waiting for? Exactly. Well, and that's why so many of us, you know, and this is one of the things I love about the Access Consciousness tools, is it gets you to look from a different place. It's like we do so much of like, well, I should be on a diet. I should be eating better. I should be moving my body. I should be stretching. I should be eating this way. I should be eating that way. I should be doing this to heal my body. I need to eat tomatoes every day. So I'm going to eat tomatoes starting tomorrow. And today I'm going to have chocolate pudding because, you know, tomorrow I can't do it. So my question again is, truth, is that something you actually desire to do? Okay. And with the body, you know, we're talking about, can it be, what else can it look like? Because I don't know about you, but if I'm honest with myself, every project I've put off till starting tomorrow, if I'm vulnerable with myself, I don't want to do it. It's not fun. Otherwise, I'd be starting it right now. Because when I look at something and I'm really excited about it, I start right then. Maybe even not the physicalness of it, but you know what? Energetically, I am there. And sometimes it is the physicalness of it. Have you ever had that moment where you're like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting, and you start and then it's 3 hours later and you missed an appointment or something because you got the idea, you got the energy of whatever it was, and you started it right then. Okay, so I'll be the first one to admit it. Every time I have put something off till tomorrow, it's because I didn't want to do it. And the things I actually desire to do, to create, I started then. I started right then. Okay, so we're going to take our next little break. When we come back, we're going to look at not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. That aspect of like maybe it could look different. Okay, so it's like, you know, so yes. So. All right, we're going to talk about that when we come back. This is Donnielle. This is Right Body for You. We're on A2Zen.fm, and we'll be right back.
What if your body could be an ease and not a burden? What would life be like if you could enjoy your body? What if changing your body was easier than we've been taught? And what if it's not about the latest fad? Join Donnielle each week on Right Body for You as she explores what bodies are and the ease of change that's possible. Each week, you will receive inspirational stories of those who've used the Right Body for You energetic tools to change their body and the tools that they used, tools that you can begin to use immediately. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on A to Zen.fm.
Check out the new ringtones from Access Consciousness.
What is it possible? What is it possible? Smoking hot. Smoking hot.
And everyone's favorite,
Take a pass. Take a pass.
download the latest and hottest accessory. Go to accessconsciousness.com/ringtones for all the details on how to download to your iPhone today.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8763 or UK 4433-0001-0625. You can Skype us at a2zen.fm. Or if you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle, and today we're talking about what choice can you make today that'll make tomorrow easier. And one thing I love about the show is able to share tools with you. So what choice can you make today to make tomorrow easier is a very potent tool. And another potent tool that's coming up in the show is truth. What you're starting tomorrow, do you actually desire to do? Okay. So in this, what choice can you make today that will make tomorrow easier? Sometimes that choice is just asking a different question. Like, truth, do I desire to do this? Truth, what else can it look like? Who else can I get to do this? I certainly don't want to do it because I keep putting it off till tomorrow. It's that old adage, or have you guys ever had a project taken away from you? Or you get fired from a job, or you had somebody break up with you, and, after the initial wailing, oh my gosh, it left me, I got fired, or whatever it was. How many of you actually, if you were vulnerable with yourself, stopped and went, yeah, I didn't want him anymore, him, her, it anymore anyways. The job sucked. I'm happier now. And it's like, trust me, nothing has actually left your life that somewhere you weren't going, good. Thank you very much for leaving my life. I had a boyfriend who he created the environment so that the girlfriends always broke up. I speak English. They always broke up with him, which was interesting. It's a long story as to why I wasn't the effect of that one. That's a long story. I should do it on Melita's show, who is, one of the other A to Zen hosts. That would be a good topic for that show. But the basis, so I would watch him do this. He would create an environment to where they would break up with him. It was really, really interesting. So it's like, where else are we doing this where we're creating these things of getting fired or getting dumped so that, he was doing it with cognitive, or where are we doing it not cognitive, so that we actually get that. So why am I going on about this? Because I want you to start looking at these places and being vulnerable with it. And what I mean by vulnerable is not like, oh my gosh, I'm vulnerable and I'm going to get stabbed and die. Bah! No, what I mean by vulnerable is if you have absolutely no barriers and no judgment. There's the thing, folks. No barriers and no judgment. If you have no barriers and no judgment, you can actually begin to see how it is you're creating your life and what that looks like and what that is and what. So you'll realize that your life maybe isn't a set of, oh, this has happened to me. It is actually a creation of this is what's going on, this is what I created, this is what I do, this is what I be. So I'm asking you to be vulnerable with this. Vulnerable meaning barrierless and no judgment. So when you're looking at these projects that are always like, I'll start tomorrow. I'm going to paint the house. I'll start tomorrow. Now, granted, you guys, there always may be those times where it's like you can't physically start painting the house today because it's 10 o'clock at night and you're going to bed. Yes, those are not the circumstances I'm talking about. But if you're standing there or sitting there going, yeah, I could do it, I'm going to do it tomorrow. You know, for me, this happened recently with I moved into a house end of January. And it took me until the middle of May to finish putting up pictures and that kind of stuff. And I would remember standing there looking at all the pictures because I had them like arranged on the floor so I could see all the pictures that were available to see where I wanted to put them. And I would look at them and go, now is a good time to go put these pictures up and all these tchotchkes away and everything. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. And I would wander off and go answer some more emails or do whatever. If I'm really vulnerable with myself, did I want to do it? Heck no! No way. Are you kidding? Why else would it take me, let's see, February, March, April, 3.5 months to finish this moving in process? I mean, you know, I got it to a point, the house to a point where I was, it was livable. My kitchen was done and, you know, my bedroom and all that kind of stuff. But it had reached that point where I'm like, ugh, just enough. And so I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I was always putting it off till tomorrow. And that tomorrow became 3.5 months until I sat there and chastised myself enough going, just friggin' do it. Just friggin' do it. 20 minutes right now and you can get it done. And how many of us are actually creating our lives from that? Just friggin' do it. Shut up. Just do it. How many of us are creating our bodies from that same place as well? Like, well, this is what is required. This is what isn't required to lose weight, to gain weight, to heal, to force my body to look like this or whatever it is. And so we do this. So what choice can you make today that would make tomorrow easier? How about asking a question of, do I actually desire to do this? Because what's interesting is in this creation of tomorrow, we always seem to, somewhere we have the point of view that we have to create from a deficit. We have to create from something where we deprive. And, you know, and this is something I looked at a lot with all those years I spent dieting, okay? Because it'd be like, okay, I'll start eating good and being on the diet tomorrow. So today I'm going to Taco Bell and I'm going to have that cookie and I'm going to have all of that stuff that I have in my head decided was bad for me, okay? And so why do we do this? You know, what's that saying in the Bible? Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. You know, we kind of adopted that with the creation also. It's like, okay, tomorrow the project starts, the deprivation starts. So live free, have a good time. You know, it's like Mardi Gras right before Lent. So those of you who don't know this, it's like Lent is, I think it's 40 days. If I'm all correct with this, 40 days. I could be wrong. Where Lent, you give up something for 40 days. Like I know somebody who gave up cheese for 40 days. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that wouldn't work for me. So they have this thing called Mardi Gras before it where you go crazy. You know, if you've ever heard of New Orleans and Mardi Gras, they party, they drink, they sex, they do whatever, they go crazy. And then the next day they start Lent. Okay? Well, how much have we actually adopted this scenario as the way of creation? Okay, tomorrow I'll get serious, so tomorrow I'm going to party and do crazy things or, you know, that kind of stuff, right? A total gluttony, exactly. Somebody in the chat room. And so it's like, where have we decided and judged that creation, whether it be our body or a project, comes from lack, comes from a place of deprivation, you know? Because or seriousness. There's a fun one. Comes from a place of seriousness. I'll get serious with this project tomorrow. Anybody ever said anything like that? Okay, I'll sincerely start tomorrow. Okay, so yes, you take it easy to say because tomorrow we get to work. Anybody said anything ever like that? Yeah, exactly. You catch the energy of that. So it's like, what if it wasn't work? What if it wasn't deprivation? What if it wasn't a lack? What if it wasn't a chore? What if it wasn't serious? What if it could be fun? I know, I'm a crazy woman saying crazy things. What if tomorrow could, or what if what we're doing in the projects could be fun? What if tomorrow could be fun? What if today could be fun? And what if yesterday could be fun? Okay, and kind of how I'm talking about with this blasphemy, yes. Kind of how I'm talking about this, how tomorrow can be different. Sorry, how yesterday can be different. Time isn't real. I can't even keep my past, present, and future tenses straight anymore. But how we're talking about tomorrow, good thing I don't talk for a living, how we can make tomorrow, son of a gun, how we can make yesterday different is something like I asked you to go back and look at those places that you got dumped, got fired, lost something or whatever, and I asked you to be vulnerable and see if it was actually something you still desired, still required in your life. That actually does change the past, okay? The thing about the past is we have these reference points. We have these, what it energetically feels like, tastes like, smells like. This is that experience, and this is what I was like when I was going through that. I was sad, I was upset, I was angry. And so we're starting to try to lock those places in. So when we're vulnerable with it, we have no barriers, and we be no judgment with those kind of things. It's like, I remember a job when I was in college, and I kept kind of screwing up, making mistakes. And, the manager had to come to me, and she's like, "Hey, honey, if you don't, straighten up, I'm going to have to let you go." And of course I straightened up because, I'm freaking humanoid and I needed the job and blah, 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 college, money, blah, 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 blah. But if I'm willing to look at it, I was I'm like, I'm such a screw up. I can't believe I do it. And that's how I initially remembered that scenario. Well, once I started being vulnerable with this and looking back at that time and back at that conversation and back at those screw ups, I didn't want to be there. I didn't like working at the sandwich shop. It wasn't just that, I didn't want to work at the sandwich shop. It was far from campus. And so it took me a long time to get there. And my time was, but I still am, my college, the time was valuable. And the time I was in my car, I wasn't studying and blah, 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 blah. So it's like, how much was I actually trying to get myself fired? So I had to look for a new job. And what was interesting is, I straightened up, I did the job, but somewhere I was like, oh my gosh, I'm such a bad person, I have to get out of here. So I started looking for a new job, and I found a job on campus. And for the rest of my college career, I worked on campus, so it was easy. And my life was easier to get to where I had to be with school because I was on campus, right? Okay. So now when I look back upon that, I go, wow, that was brilliant. What awareness was I not willing to see? What choice was I not willing to make then that would make tomorrow easier? And so I have actually changed the past, because now when I look at that scenario, I don't flagellate. I don't get mad at myself. I don't judge myself. I'm like, wow, I was even aware then. Not that I was acknowledging it, but I was. And so, what was I creating? A lot. So I don't have that, oh my gosh, I was a horrible person. I'm like, wow, that was brilliant. Oh my gosh, that's one moment in my life where I was just not a good person. Actually, I was just creating in a different way. And so this is one of the ways that we can actually look back and change the past so that you can even make a choice today that would make yesterday easier as well as tomorrow easier when you're willing to look at things as they actually were without barriers and without judgment. Okay? All right, so we're going to take our last little break. When we come back, we will talk a little bit more about choices and tomorrow. Do we ever get to tomorrow? Okay. This is Donnielle. This is Right Body for You. We're on A2Zen.fm, and we'll be right back.
What if your body could be an ease and not a burden? What would life be like if you could enjoy your body? What if changing your body was easier than we've been taught? And what if it's not about the latest fad? Join Donnielle each week on Right Body for You as she explores what bodies are and the ease of change that's possible. Each week you will receive inspirational stories of those who've used the Right Body for You energetic tools to change their body and the tools that they used, tools that you can begin to use immediately. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on A2Zen.fm.
What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if you're far greater than you've ever given yourself credit for? What if it's time to know the gift and the contribution you are to the world and to like yourself a lot more? Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. Asking questions opens doors to infinite possibilities. And it's not about finding the answer. It's about being the question. Always. What I'm inviting you to step into is something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Newton, Da Vinci, Gandhi, Picasso, and Aristotle all knew to be true. What if no question is too big or too small? What if anything is possible for you? What if together we could create a kinder, gentler, happier world? Is now the time? Go to beingyouclass.com and sign up for a free video series, My Gift to You. beingyouclass.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change this world requires? beingyouclass.com.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8763 or UK 4433-0001-0625. You can Skype us at A2Zen.fm. Or if you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I'm your host, Donnielle, and today we've been exploring what choice can you make today that would make tomorrow easier. And I say, what choice can you make today that would make tomorrow, today, and yesterday easier? And, one of those choices I would suggest you make is ask the question. Anything you're putting off starting tomorrow, truth, do you actually desire to do it? Okay? You might be surprised. I admitted every time I had something I put off to do tomorrow, it's because I didn't want to do it. But here's the thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't want to do it, period. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it's like, yeah, heck no, I just didn't want to do it. Like me hanging up the pictures. I just didn't want to do it, so I kept putting it off till tomorrow was 2.5, 3.5 months, whatever that was. But it also means it can just be done differently. Like with starting a diet tomorrow. We're always like, oh, I'll start it tomorrow. Okay, so you don't actually desire to start it. So what if you could be doing it in a different way? What if you do a different plan, a different modality, something else? It's like your body could actually be telling you, hey, it wants this to be different. Feel better, change, whatever. But what if it's not the way you've already decided and judged, and that's why you're putting it off till tomorrow? So how can it change? Not just, oh, fine, yeah, obviously if I'm putting it off till tomorrow, I don't want to do it. Ask more questions. This is all about asking questions. So don't throw it out. Don't get one awareness and go, yep, see, knew it, nothing's ever going to change. No, ask more questions. Are there elements of it you like? Are there elements of it that doesn't work for you? How can you change this so you get so excited, so enthusiastic that you can't wait to start so much that you actually start it. Okay? And then also I'm suggesting please start looking at the places where in the past where something has been done or created, and with that, what did it create for you? Like this is how you begin to change the past, as you change the energy and how you remember it, and those places that you're trying to lock in, the judgments you're trying to lock into place. When you look at it with total vulnerability, which is having no barriers and no judgment, you begin to see what is actually the creation of it. And sometimes getting fired is quite brilliant. Getting dumped is quite brilliant, because it's like, what were you actually asking for? What choice were you making? Not cognitively, but what choice were you making that was actually changing the future? You can look at this, you can change the past, you can change the present, and you can change tomorrow. That ever-present tomorrow that is always coming, okay? All right. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you'd like to learn more, please check out the archives. I have a slew of them, and I'm having a good time with the show. And please, if you ever have any topic you'd like to know more about, Donnielle at accessconsciousness.com. I'd love to hear your suggestions. You and your body, what would you like to know more about? And if you're in Brisbane, Australia this weekend, please do come to the Right Body for You workshop. I have so much fun facilitating these classes. We laugh, we cry, we have a good time, we joke. We enjoy our bodies change, our money flows change, our communication with our bodies change, earth changes. Yes, the earth changes. We have so much fun. And remember, if you can't join us in Brisbane, Australia, you can also live stream it. So go to DonnielleCarter.accessconsciousness.com and you can check it out. Does this weekend not work for you? Does this you can't beat on Australia, or you're not awake when Australia is awake? Please check it out. I have classes all over the world. I think Seattle is next month, and then after that is India, and then after that is Toronto, and then I have Rome and London, Dubai, Vienna, a number of places. So please check it out. I have so much fun doing these Right Body for You workshops. It's not just about your body, but it's also about your life. If you've listened to even one of my shows, you see the correlation between your body and your life. That's one thing I hear about the workshops most is it's not just a body class, it's a life class, and it really is. Right Body for You, it's about the creation of your life with the contribution of your body. And it's not that your body has to be a particular way or look a particular way or certain health level or physicalness to be a contribution. It can actually be a contribution right now, as is. It's already communicating with you. Would you allow it to be that communication, to be that contribution that it truly is and is always striving to do? And this is some of the stuff we explore in the Right Body for You workshop. So please do join. I have a great time. It's some of my favorite times of my life is doing the show with you and doing the workshops with everybody. It's so, I still giggle and laugh that I was brilliant enough to create my life in this way, that I get to play with you guys and I get to play with bodies and see people change and be happy and create a life that they actually desire. Okay? So hope you had a good time. Please join me next week. I know I have something fun in store. And thanks, everyone. Have a great one.
Thank you for listening to Right Body for You. Donnielle will return next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on A to Zen.fm. We hope you and your body will join us.